met Zeke in middle school. First year, 6th grade, Gloversville Middle School. I liked Zeke because he was his own person. He was original. A lot of the kids in school tried to see. I wasn't a cool kid in school. My crew, we weren't like cool kids. We didn't really belong to a crew, so we would. And by my crew, I mean me and Marshall. We just stuck together, and Zeke kind of he was like the egg that held our meatloaf together, you know? We're meatloaf and he's the egg. I was younger at the time, and my house wasn't the best. My house wasn't the nicest, so going into Zeke's house wasn't much different. Yeah, it wasn't much different from my house. Actually, to be honest, I think the first time I stepped foot in one of Zeke's houses I think it was nicer than my house. He had walls. He had food. I had food, but Zeke had a lot of food. See, in school, Zeke was, like I said, a different kind of person, so a lot of people didn't really understand him. And myself and the people I was hanging out with, we were all kind of different in our own ways, too. So when it came to like sticking up for Zeke, when it came to other people, I was always a protective friend. When it came to that, I think we all were. We were all definitely protective. Involved in with Zeke was this was around the time we first met. This was around that same time. The first time I ever seen Zeke do something crazy was, we went in my backyard, and he decided to take a pickle jar, and we smashed it, and he told me he could actually put the glass in his mouth and chew on it. And obviously, as a young kid, I was like, do it. That's sick. That'd be awesome. And he actually put the glass in his mouth, and he was bleeding all over the place, like everywhere. And I was terrified. I thought I was going to go to jail. He was going to testify against me. His grandmother was. I thought I was a goner. Huh?
Okay, and what if I ever need a piece of paper to write on throughout the night, or like later on today, and I already have anything?
Come with me to my uncle's.
And stay out later, and then eventually have to get locked out of the house.
You really turned into a bitch throughout the years, Zeke.
No, it's just there's other people I live with have priorities too, and I have to respect them. You guys have to understand that. You guys have to understand that. It's not just your fucking way.
You ever watch Basketball?
Yeah, I do. It's a good movie.
You know the guy that called me Little Bitch?
Yeah, Little Bitch, Squeak. Yeah, I know. Yeah, nice hint. Okay, I get it. Have respect. Understand. Okay, well, there's a baby. There's other things there. They close the door at a certain time. Okay, so Zeke can't stay out too late. Okay, we'll drop you out before it's too late. How hard is that? Like, seriously.
So what's too late? 2 hours ago?
11, 12.
Alright, this is a complete fucking waste of time.
I told you!
Well, you told me to fucking light it.
No, I didn't. I told you it's a complete waste of time. It's stupid to fucking do a fire out here. But do you listen to me? No! Because Tim knows what the fuck he's talking about.
I do. Roll some smokes, will you?
You don't, because apparently you found out it's a waste of time. You finally came to realization in your subconscious mind. So I just never give up, you know? So I pursue my dreams because my grandma believed in me and she supported me, so I don't stop for nobody. So that's what I do. It was just hard when she left, and I just can't come to terms of accepting it. So days it gets hard, it gets rough, but I try to make the best out of every day by enjoying the scenery, the sunset, sunrise, clouds, walk through woods. So I just continue doing what I do. I like writing stories, sharing my experiences, come up with creative ideas and everything, inspiring others, and that's just what I set out to do. That's just what I want to do. Just create, make stories, and just... But it is hard. I mean, I think the only thing I can most likely say would be probably when Graham passed, it affected me deeply. Like other people in the family, it affected them, but me, I still can't accept it till today. I'm still not over it. Every now and then I find it hard to sleep at night, and I keep thinking that, you know, nothing feels right anymore, and I feel like I'm in a bad dream, and I'm just gonna wake up and she's gonna be there. So, and it's going on 5 years now since she's passed, and I still haven't come to terms with it yet. I'm so used to back then with how she raised me and how she used to let me have my Xbox and my game system, you know, my soda, and she supported me too. If I wanted to work on music, she let me work on music. You know, she supported me. She believed in me. She was like, yeah, go ahead, you know, go for it. You know, if that's what you want to do and that's what you think you can be successful at and you feel you're going to be successful, go for it. So that's why till today, I continue doing it. I don't stop. And I do it for her. I don't stop for nobody. Oh, boy. Pretty much after all that transpired and everything else, I'm still struggling day by day to push onwards, but at the same time continue doing what I'm doing, and it's making things very difficult, really hard. But you know, it seems like every day it's always something coming along, and things just get more rockier and rougher down the road. But I still press onwards, head held up high. So either way, at least I know that I'm not, you know, writing the stories and everything is one thing. It's just trying to squeeze in other things outside of that. Let's see this card. It just gets really, really challenging. Too much for my brain to handle sometimes, and I get really frustrated and agitated. I know I've been screwed over a lot from people in my life, people I know. Some people I thought I could trust, but you know, it's better to forgive than forget. So it's in the past. It's water under the bridge. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, move onwards. But like Frank Sinatra, live life to the fullest. Live it every day. Enjoy every little thing that life tosses at you. It was harder because I had to pay most of the rent, all the rent I was paying. She'd chip in like what, $50 worth, like toilet paper or stuff like that. But you know, she would get drunk and she'd let her drunken buddies come there, and they would get out of hand, get out of line, disturb the neighbors. I was close to getting evicted countless times because of it, and you know, and that's not the home Graham wanted. So I was defending that home, defending Graham's honor and her wishes. That's the kind of home she wanted. So that's what I was doing. And I literally had to chase people out. Things got hot, you know. Sometimes it got, you know, some hostility was involved, and it led to the point where I eventually ended up losing the damn place, along with my katana sword, my beautiful bike that I named Silver Bullet, my Halloween masks and everything, most of my clothes, my thousands and thousands and thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. A lot of other things too. And when I went to come get it the one day, it wasn't there. And now, just recently, the house got torn down. So that's kind of bumpy. I ended up staying with some family members. Ended up staying with some other people. It worked out for about a month, possibly maybe 2 months at the most. Then back to square one again on the streets. Bounced from place to place, which wasn't really fun at all. Slept in a SUV Blazer thing during the winter with tape on the window, plastic, with all my stuff in it. That wasn't fun. Worrying about what I'm gonna eat, cigarettes and everything, that wasn't fun either. That was miserable. That was misery.
I went to school with him in Boulevard.
What grade?
I think it was like what? I think it's around 7th, 6th or 7th.
No, that's not Boulevard.
No.
Third.
3rd grade, yeah.
Yeah, third.
I think it was Miss Purcell or Miss Fox, one of the two.
No, we had
Well, we had Miss Purcell, Miss Fox, and
Miss Fox.
Yeah, and we also had
All
Mr.
three of them.
Yeah, and then we also had Mr. Yusko.
Yeah. He's the only one I would talk to at first.
Yeah.
Like, literally. I left everybody out.
Okay.
Never in my life.
All right. I couldn't remember if you guys had dated or.
No. That's probably one of my dreams, maybe a long time ago, but you just didn't like horror movies, and I was like,
Well, not at night. Like, you wanted me to watch them at night with you, and
that's the best part.
just so you laugh at me because I jump at everything else.
That's the best part to experience it. Well, it begins with, I was 8 years old, or 8 months old. Found out I didn't even know who my dad is. Still don't know who the heck my dad is till today. Even till up to now. Grandmother took me in because Mom had her drink and everything else, so wasn't really. I was ignored as a child, as a baby, and everything else. Skip on up to when I was 4 years old. Got my cheek ripped off by a dog. Drowned and had a near-death experience and everything at the age of 8. Worked in a cemetery from around the age of 8 and 10 years old. When I started seeing my mom was on and off through holidays. But they would always go down the drain because she showed up drunk, so. Did they have suspicions who my dad was? No. Not really. No one really knows.
Do you want to know your dad?
Do I want to know my dad? I've gone 29 years so far. I can care less. I mean, back when I was in elementary school, back when I was 8, I was violated by an older guy. I mean, that's the only thing I can pretty much mention back in that time. Do I remember how it went? Yeah. Guy walked in the room, said he wanted to show me a submission move that makes anybody submit. Me being young and not knowing what it was. Me being naive. And he showed me, and I don't want to go too far into that. But I blocked it out from my subconscious, so.
Did you tell anyone?
Yeah, I told my uncle.
What happened?
He beat the living crap out of him. I can name them off, yes. I can name off all the mental issues I got. The different types of schizophrenia. Disorganized schizophrenia. Paranoid schizophrenia. I got bipolar manic depression, bipolar mania. Epileptic headaches, not the seizures, just the headaches. my process is sometimes slow. Sometimes it's hard for me to focus on multiple tasks at once, so I only get tunnel vision focused on one task, and if I get too overwhelmed with too many things at once, I spaz out and everything. So I found ways to help me to cope, and that's writing stories, listening to music, playing video games to release aggression and everything else, and I just do that regularly to help me mellow out. I drink Mountain Dew for my depression and keep me chippy and happy, and I smoke cigarettes to help me with my nerve problem. So. So how's that? Hey Skip, is my mom in?
Yeah, I can't let you in.
Okay. No, I was just going back with like talking about like how everything was with me Woodside and how everything was unfolding, and I was talking about like how like when you and me got in that big scuffle back then on Woodside or on Fulton Street, and the chain got broke, and you end up breaking your knuckles, punched me in the back of my head.
I don't remember all that.
You remember much of when he was like first born and stuff?
Yeah.
Like at his childhood?
No, Mom had him.
Yeah, 8 months, I believe was.
Do you remember like building up to him being born though? How it was for you when you were pregnant with him and stuff?
No. I had him natural. I know that.
Yep.
Then I couldn't do nothing with him. My mother's the only one that could.
Yeah, you were saying something like that. Like I just wouldn't. I couldn't work with you. Like Grandma would get me on a schedule, and I wouldn't work with you. But as soon as Grandma picked me up and everything, it was just. I stopped crying and everything. No. I think it was just some kind of thing with Grandma. I don't know. I was a baby. I don't know.
She's had you ever since she was a baby.
8 months, I think it was, wasn't it?
No, it was sooner than that.
I remember.
Cause she got mad every time like she had you on a schedule. I'd messed it up. I didn't mess it up. I just couldn't get you to eat or do anything.
That's complicated.
You remember how old you were when he was conceived, and when he was born?
Let's see, Crystal. That was in 1990.
Good years.
It was 22, 23.
Was he expected, or like was it kind of just?
Like just happened.
No, he was on time.
Was he planned?
No, none of my pregnancies were planned.
This is one of those things that just happened.
I had a wild child, it
Childhood.
was wild growing up. That was pretty wild. None of my kids were planned. It was pretty wild. I was pretty wild. Did what I wanted when I wanted to. Regret it.
Well, now I know where I get that part from.
What?
Doing what I want to when I want to, not caring.
So
In
you're
the way,
happy.
in the way that things turned out, would I have changed anything so it would be indifferent?
Scenario.
I'd have to say drinking. Partying pretty heavy. So I said it was pretty wild. Partied pretty heavy. Got together with the guys and
biker buddies.
Don't remember which one is Daddy, so I changed that.
So then you could go back and then know exactly who he was.
I wouldn't have partied as much.
No. Well, I'm pretty sure my dad probably wasn't no bargain anyway. Probably definitely not somebody I probably would want in my life anyway. Because if I was an important piece to him, then why ain't he out looking for me then? You know? How come he's not asking for him about me?
Because he probably doesn't know you exist.
Oh, I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost now. Lovely.
Could you go back on any stories of him as a young kid?
See, it's kind of hard because I didn't have him. Mom had him.
Mm-hmm. She didn't have me long.
And the only time I could see him was if I went to her house.
Yep, no, usually like on Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Well, I could see you during the week, but I couldn't take you anywhere.
No. Oh, except for when I was 10, I stayed with you guys for a whole summer out in Evergreen Cemetery, Fonda.
Yeah, but we ended up taking Grandma too.
Yeah, but then she wanted to go back home, and then we ended up...
Oh, no, I was thinking up camps.
Yeah, I was talking about cemetery, and then we ended up riding back from Fonda all the way to Gloversville on a bike.
Would you say you had a happy childhood?
Zach, yes. Until he started attending school. From the school days on, where we junior high. I think it started in junior high.
Some of the stuff started when I was in...
Elementary?
Yeah. It started there too, because people started messing with me and everything and wouldn't leave me alone.
Because you quit in SD.
I didn't quit. I graduated.
You graduated?
I graduated out of school. I stuck through because that's what Graham wanted.
You was going to quit.
I wanted to, yeah. But Grandma didn't want me to, so I didn't. I stuck it out.
No.
It was the Hawaiian thing because I went there with Tim. We had that Hawaiian thing and I did a break dance, and then I had my finger closed in the school door.
I remember Josh and Shelley living there. I remember they all had one time. I remember I was on Lincoln Street. I had Mom, Zach, Josh, Shelley. Zach was still in school. I was working nights at Walmart. I had to come home from work and walk Zach to school.
Middle school.
He was up at the high school or the SD?
I was in middle school. Oh. And then it was...
Mom was working at Taylor Made.
There was that one time during the winter, during the blizzard there, I wanted to go home.
You know.
And walked out and fucking...
They lost their power and they ended up staying with me.
And I wanted to be home with Graham, and it was like, what, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, and I just wanted to walk home.
I love you.
Love you.
Sorry, just with this coronavirus.
That's alright. I understand that completely.
You won't let nobody in the house, not even his brother.
I don't. How was high school for me? It was pretty rough, on the rocky edges. I've had some people there that would, they had my back every now and then. If it wasn't one person, it was another person. I had Dave, Scara, I had Marshall. Except for back in middle school, there was one that I definitely did not like, and that was Mr. Yusko. A lot of reasons why.
Can you go into why?
And I go into it. Well, one of the reasons was he was just... He would put us down. Know the fact that we were in the special classes, he would just call us names and was like very rude, disrespectful. Not even a professional teacher at all. And he was just a rotten person. Anything I would like to change?
No, don't you think you should change? Maybe other people aren't the problem.
No, I mean, I disagree, but everybody else disagrees. Everybody else has their own opinions. People are free to have their opinions. But me, I don't think that's the case. Personally.
Do you think there's something you could change to have? I mean, maybe there's something that you do that maybe you don't see as a problem, but you know is a problem.
No, I spend a lot of time in my head.
Well, like the shower thing. Do you feel like maybe you could make a bigger effort to shower and be more
I could.
like more clean?
I
for lack of
could.
better
Yeah, I
words?
definitely could. But with the way my mind state is, when I'm focused on one thing and everything else gets clouded up, it
Do you
messes
feel
up my
like
head.
that's? Do you feel like that's a scapegoat though?
No.
More so than what?
No, it's just straight fact. It's just straight legit fact.
You don't think? You don't think that same
That's how I've been.
reason for a lot of things is just a scapegoat?
That's how I've been for years, and that's how I'm gonna be.
So you don't? You feel like physically you can't
Multitask.
turn yourself around and be more cleanly?
I've tried. It wasn't easy. It was like trying to drive an 18-wheel up a hill when a person's never driven an 18-wheeler before. It was like trying to teach a person that is not mentally there and has no education and trying to teach them like rocket science. It was just too much. I'm not a regular person. And I've come to terms of acceptance with that. You have to learn to love and accept yourself for who you are before anybody else can
So do you
accept
think other people should change how they feel because you?
you. No, they shouldn't change how they feel. They should just stop dwelling on it so much and just love me for who I am.